Hello everybody, I'm GHG and welcome back to this tutorial series. And in today's episode we are going to take a look at a message and reply command. And as you can see, it's still inside the text warp plugin because I thought it would fit right in there to show you how to work with multiple managers and commands. Because what I did, I registered a new command executor for both the message command and the R command. And I've also created a new message manager. And I want to start off with the message manager, because what is the message manager going to do? Well, we want to have a message command, which is purely command, and we want to have a reply command. And in order to have a reply command, we need to keep track of which player has sent the last message to which player, of course. And what kind of data type do we know? What kind of variable type do we know that can store a key and a value? Well, that's a hash map, of course. So hash map, and it's going to be two player variables, and I'm just going to call it conversations, and it's going to equal a new hash map of type player. And inside of the manager, we also want to register the commands that have to do with the conversations. That way I don't have to make it public or have to make it static or any kind of things. So what we are going to do is we are going to make a public void, and it's going to be set reply target. And what I want to do is I want to have a player that's the messenger, and I want to have a player that's the receiver. So that's the receiving player. And we're going to adjust it. So we're going to do conversation.put, and we all conversations.put messenger to receiver. And I don't know why it didn't autocomplete that, messenger and receiver. But I also wanted to do it the other way around, because they are both in a reply state. So over here receiver, and the other one should be messenger, like that. And I do this because both the messenger and the receiver should reply to the latest and the newest message. So if you're talking to multiple people and you do /r, then you reply to the person that messaged you last. And I also want to have a public player, so it should return a player, and it should be get reply target, and it should be a player that's the messenger. And then we return conversations dot get messenger, so it will return the receiver. And yeah, that's actually all you need to do with inside the message manager. So let's go and take a look at the actual message command. So inside the message command, and as you can see, I've already created the constructor because it's now basic knowledge. You should know how to do it. And what I like to do is I like to change the things that are normally over here into sender, command, label, and args. So arguments, that's what args is short for. And first we want to check, of course, if the sender is instance of player. And we want to check if the args.length is greater than 0, because if args.length is only 1, then there's actually no message, because the first argument is going to be the player's name to which you're sending the message. So what we are going to do is we are going to do player, and this is going to be messenger, and it's going to be the player that sent it, so equals player sender. And what we want to check for is because yeah, the player receiver is bucket.get offline player argument 0, and then we get the player. That's the most safe way to do it, because we first can check if the player is online with this method. So we are going to add the deprecation to this whole public boolean. And how to check if the player is actually online? Well, first we need to go up again to this if statement, because what we want to check if the player that you're trying to message is actually online. We're just going to do bucket.get offline player again, and of course args 0. And get offline player, as you can see, has a get player, and that should not equal null, because if you can get the player, then it's an online player. If you can't get the player, then it's an offline player. So what we are going to do is we are going to put this inside over here, and over here we are going to do else, and then we are going to send a player then we are going to send a message to the sender. Send message, player not online. That way we know for sure that the receiver is an online player. So now that we have created the message manager, we need to set the target, of course. So plugin.mm, which stands for message manager, .set reply target messenger receiver, and you do not even have to change anything about it. And now for the actual message, because we now have arguments, and I'm going to set the first argument, which is normally the name. I'm going to set it equal to nothing, so just a blank quotation marks over here, arg0, and I'm going to create a new string variable called message, which equals blank string as well. Now, because arguments, the args array, the string array, is made up of multiple loose elements, we need to combine them into a message. And just for simplicity's sake, I'm just going to do int I equals 0. You can of course use the stream for that. I might do an episode later on how to use streams like that. Then we're going to do it smaller than length, and we are going to do I plus plus. And of course message plus equals, which means that it's going to add. So either you do message plus equals a space bar, because the arguments do not have spaces between them, and then I'm going to add the argument of number I. And message plus equals just is the same as message equals message plus something, but it's shorter to do plus equals. Okay, then there is one last thing to do, and that's actually send the message. And I'm going to also send a message to the messenger, and it's going to do send message. And send message is going to be a new type of chat color, which was recommended on the Discord server. I like to use chat color.color, but some people also like to do this sign, which is alt21, and then you have to use alternative codes. I will put a link in the description box to the codes. This is Minecraft's original system, so to say, and 6 will return your gold. So I'm going to do those arrows that point towards the right to indicate that it's an outgoing message. And then I'm going to put the receiver's name, so receiver.get name, and I'm going to also do a double dot so that you can see that you set that spacebar, that sign again, F to make the chat white again, and then plus message, so that you actually send the message. And we can copy this, and then we can paste it, and then we can put receiver over here, and we can put messenger over here, messenger, and over here receiver. And I'm going to invert those signs to make it go an incoming message. Just a quick recap: we check if the player is online that you want to send a message to. Then we are going to take the arguments and make it into a message and send that message off to the player. And we send a message to the messenger to let them know that they sent a message, and a message to the receiver to have them receive the message. So now for the reply command, we're now in the reply command class. As you can see, I've already made a constructor, a class constructor, and I've changed those things again. And first things first, we are going to check, of course, if sender instance of player, so that we know that we're actually using players over here. And then we want to return it true. Forget that on the last one, you can also put that over there. So what we are going to do is we're getting the player is the messenger equals cast it to player, sender of course. And now what we want to check is, because if somebody did not start a conversation yet, we have to first check if plugin.mm, not on command, why does it keep on doing that? Plugin, that's a new subscriber, I don't know if you can see that, it just popped up on my screen. Let me click that way. Plugin.mm .get reply target, and the player messenger of course is not equal to null, because is equal to null, because what we are going to do is we are going to make a if statement over here that just continues if it's okay. If it's not null, then it just continues the code. But what you can do is you can so we're first going to send the messenger a message over here, send message, and that says no current conversations. And what you can do is you can actually return now. So it will stop the code over there with a return statement as normally. But instead of using if else, you can also just do if and then a return true, and then just go further on down here. So we can actually say receiver, because we've now checked if the plugin.mm.getReplyTarget messenger is not equal to null. We've just checked that, and yeah, now we know it's not null. So now for the message, we're going to do the same trick, string message. I'm just going to copy that from over here real quickly, string message, and then we want to do that. Now we do not set the first argument to nothing, because the first argument is now not the player's name but still part of the message. And we can just quickly copy this over here as well, the message, because it's essentially the same. But now instead the receiver and the messenger are different. And that's actually how easy it is to make a reply and message plugin. There is still one thing that I like to keep secret for you as a challenge, and that is, what if a player logs out that is in a current conversation? Just make a simple if statement for that and listen to an event. Hope you can solve it. If you cannot, just ask it on the Discord. So let's go and check this out on the server. See you over there. So inside Mike now, start up the server. Let's go take a look at what we have created. Of course, I'm alone on the server, so I'm getting both the message that's sent to me as a confirmation message, as well as the receiving message. And I'm going to just say hi there. As you can see, multiple arguments, doesn't really matter. And if I now do /r hi there too, you can see it will reply to me again. And that's it for today's episode. It was suggested on the Discord, so I thought that you'd like to see this. Hope you did. If you did enjoy the episode, leave a like. If you want to see more, subscribe. If you got any feedback or suggestions, down below in the comment section or in the description box, you can find a link to the said Discord channel. Go there. It's fun. See you over there. And thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.